Shalom, shalom, Israel. It's your brother Ananias again for A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And it's an honor, it's a privilege, as always, to be able to come before you, to be able to speak, to uplift you, most importantly, to edify you in the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And like I said, it's an honor to be able to teach you, and I'm glad that you tuned in today. But welcome to another Truthful Tuesday, where we tell it how it is, where we go over current events or relevant topics that our brothers and sisters need to understand, things that need to be addressed, and so on and so on. But nonetheless, it's another Truthful Tuesday where we're going to tell it how it is. And today we're going to be going over a video through another video, giving some commentation or some, we're going to basically break it down and give them scripture to it, because they're going at it from a worldly standpoint on a particular topic, which is the sister wants to know, are we too far gone as a nation of people? Are we so-called black folks too far gone for anything to change, for any good to come out of the situation that we're in right now? So we're going to watch this video and we'll come back to it and break it down a little bit. So bear with me.
So we have one of the sisters that just want to ask some questions about, are we as a Black American community, are we too far gone? Are we? But let's go ahead and roll that.
So, you know what's so sad to see? Black men and women, our love has grown so cold towards each other. Like, we just don't have a sense of unity at all anymore. Like, when Black men hear a lot of Black men hear negative things about Black women, or people talking about Black women, they don't even feel offended anymore. A lot of them jump in and start talking about them too. And then Black women, the same thing. When a lot of Black women hear people talking down on Black men, we're not offended by that. A lot of us jump in and start talking about them too, if we ain't the ones who started the conversation talking about each other. Like, it's just so sad. We're so lost. And
what the sister is saying is true. You know, what she first said in the very beginning, she said we have grown cold toward each other. The love that we have as a nation of people, as a nation of Israel toward each other, we have grown cold-hearted toward each other. And that's actually biblical. Let me go get that for you. Let's go to the New Testament just to show you. Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. Let me get the book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. And it reads, and because iniquity, meaning sin, shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. You see that? Because of sin. Because of sin. What is sin? Breaking the Most High's commandments. That is what sin is. And because sin is in existence, and because it's being accepted, it's not being corrected, it's being promoted more and more each and every day. Because of sin, love toward each other is become cold. We've become cold-hearted as a nation of people toward each other. Not so much toward the other nations, but especially toward ourselves. I'm going to read that again. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 12. And it reads, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So because of sin, we're going to begin, and we have, as you can see, as time goes on, from the time you were born to now, people have become more and more cold-hearted and numb to what's going on. Numb to the very existence of our brothers and sisters being gunned down, killed, locked up, anything that you can think of, becoming homosexuals. We've become numb to these things. It's expected. It's normal now. You know, that's what the sister was saying, but that is biblical. I'm going to let her keep talking, though.
I don't even, And like, I don't even know if we can come back. Are we too far gone to come back? Like, we have no empathy towards each other anymore. Like, we have no sense of having each other's back anymore. Everybody is like, well, they ain't got nothing to do with me.
That's also biblical, what she's saying. Everybody is out today in today's society, out living for themselves. Let's go to the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3. 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 1. And it reads, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come." You know, where you got pestilence at an all-time high. You know, making it perilous times where the food is scarce and the prices are skyrocketing. Everything is going through the roof. Prices of houses, clothing, your resources, you know, your energy, your power, everything is skyrocketing. These are perilous times. War, the rumors of wars, perilous times. But I'm going to keep reading verse 2, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2. "For men shall be lovers of themselves, not of their own people, but of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection." Just what the sisters going over with. Our brothers will sit by and dog the sisters out instead of defending them. And likewise with the sisters. They'll start up conversations to dog the brother out and make it comfortable where the other nations feel that they can do that and have no type of consequence behind it. So because of sin being promoted heavily here in Babylon the Great and around the world, the hearts and the minds of our people have grown cold towards each other. And this is strictly biblical. It's no coincidence. It's not just that you turn on the TV. These things come straight out of the scriptures, making this book what? True. Nobody can prophesy and these things come together or come to be thousands of years ago. And you can see it without a shadow of a doubt in these last days. Said in the last days, men gonna be lovers of themselves. They gonna love themselves. They ain't gonna care about the next man. They're not gonna care if this family is eating or not. They're not gonna care if that family got a family full of homosexuals. They're not gonna care about that. They're not gonna care if this person gunned somebody down the street last week. They're not gonna care as long as it's not in their household. And that's the sad thing, but it's true. I'm gonna let the sister keep talking though.
That they don't represent me. They don't. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. When I step out of my house, I'm representing women, I'm representing Black women, and I'm representing Black people. I can't separate myself from those groups.
All praises for that. Now, this sister needs to come on board and realize that she's an Israelite. She's not Black. That's just a color. But she needs to realize truly who she is and who she belongs to and where she come from and why we in the condition that we in. Hopefully the sister will come into this truth because I like her passion. I like her spirit. And right now it seems like she's still asleep to the fact, but she sees the wickedness that's going on in this kingdom, in this world. So Lord willing, this sister wakes up to the truth and she has a seed planted and is watered by a congregation, with the Lord get an increase. But like the sister was saying, when she walk out the house, she knows that she represents women, especially an Israelite sister, and she represents our people, the nation of Israel. When she walk out the door, a lot of our people don't even consider themselves to be brothers or sisters. You know, you can say, "Hey, my brother, how you doing?" "I'm not your brother." "Hey, sister, how you doing?" "I'm not your sister." That's how we are today. Mind and heart has waxed cold one against each other. So we got to get back to who we are and what's going on. But I'm going to let the sister continue to speak.
Like, it's so sad to me because my heart is still there, loving my people, loving my brothers, loving my sisters. But I feel like I'm starting to be on the island all alone with that, because we just don't love or like each other anymore. And it's so sad.
Whether you know it or not, these things are part of the curses that are put upon the Israelites for our constant disobedience against the Most High. And I'm going to prove that. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. No, I'm going to start at 15. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse, I'm going to start at 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So if we were to keep the commandments of the Most High that he gave to the nation of Israel, we would be set on high, meaning we would be in rulership, But as you can see, we are not in rulership right now. So I'm going to read verse 15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, meaning if we don't listen, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So for not following the commandments as a nation of people, we would be cursed. And a lot of our brothers and sisters fail to realize that we are cursed. Before I came into this truth, I didn't know that. I asked questions the same way this sister asked questions. I couldn't understand why these things were happening. And I'm so grateful to the Most High for him opening my eyes to see what was going on, to understand truly why our people are destroyed. And it's simply because we reject knowledge. We reject knowledge. These commandments, statutes, these were our knowledge and our wisdom, our understanding in sight of the other nations, but we rejected knowledge. We said the hell with keeping the commandments. We're going to do our own thing. So the Most High put them curses on us as a direct result of him keeping his word, being a man of his word, being our father. So because we didn't keep the commandments, we were cursed. And like I was saying before, the condition that we in as a people and what the sister is talking about is a direct correlation to the curses written in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And I'm going to read Deuteronomy 28, verse 54. And it reads, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil, not good, not blessed, but shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So there's your black on black crime. There's your single parent household. There is your children being raised without the father in the household. That's a curse. I'm going to read verse 56. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. So there you have it. That is the dysfunction, the chaos that is instilled in our communities and our neighborhoods. Curses, which our people have no knowledge of, unless you're being woken up into this truth, or you've seen the brothers and sisters teaching who we are, teaching this truth. Unless you heard that on the highways and byways or seen it on social media, it's basically impossible for you to understand it as a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. We are the Israelites, but because of our disobedience, we were cursed and our heritage was discontinued, meaning it was put to an end because of our disobedience. So now we're waking up and we're asking these questions in the last days, just like the sister's going over in this video. But these things are all part of the curses that the Most High put on his people for not following his commandments. But I'm going to let the sister keep talking.
It's so sad. And it's also embarrassing because people are looking in on the outside at our and they also are becoming comfortable with jumping in and talking about us too. And
that's also a curse. It's Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. Just like the sister say, she's embarrassed. It's embarrassing. That's an astonishment for people so great, who are great in everything, who look the best, who cook the best, who do everything great. But for some odd reason, we can't get along. And the other nations look at us and shake their head. They look at us in astonishment, like, wow, these are the chosen people of God. And look how they act. Look how they kill each other. Look how they can't get along. Look how they fight. Look how their families are destroyed. Look how they stay drunk and bugged out. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37. And it reads, and thou shalt become an astonishment. That's the astonishment, an embarrassment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. So the Lord scattered us all around the world as a punishment, not as a reward or a blessing, but as a punishment because of our constant disobedience. But among all those different nations that he scattered us, we would be in astonishment, in embarrassment. We would be put to shame. Just as this sister is speaking about. A proverb, a wise saying, like we never show up on time for anything. And that's even the same way, and it's true. Letting you know that these curses are real. We don't show up on time for anything. You know, we still look at each other with the side eye. Even in this truth. But it says a byword. We still calling each other out our God-given name. We still labeling each other niggas, thoughts, whores, hoes. You know, these are the things that we still do to this day, knowing that they are derogatory, negative, bring no beneficial gain to our nation or to the table, but yet and still, we still use these terms. The other nations look at us in an astonishment, but I'm going to let the sister keep speaking.
And nobody checks it. Nobody checks it. Maybe I care too much, but that's just who I am. It hurts. And I'm just having one of those times right now where it just hurts. Like
what she's saying right there is biblical as well. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Because I still experience it every day. Knowing it's true. Knowing it's true. Knowing that everything that's going on around us is a part of the system called oppression. I'm going to read this, though. It says in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7, it says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. When she turned around and she see her people, just like I and just like many others, seeing our brothers and sisters hating each other, hating everything about themselves, from our sisters wearing wigs and weave to fake eyelashes, fake eyebrows, fake nails, to our sisters feeling the only way to attract a man is to dress like a stripper or a whore, for men to be being feminine, you know, not knowing how to be real men, not wanting to be a man. Rather than go work, they'll rather sit on the couch and let the woman go to work for them, thinking that's being a pimp or a player. That's being a coward. Rather than being able to talk or fight your way out of a situation, you just pick up guns and shoot. Cowards. Not able to fully be able to converge in a conversation or to think to handle your situation. You just react off emotion. So once again, Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. This sister's wise because she's actually paying attention to what's going on in the world rather than just having her head in the palm of her hand scrolling on her phone all day. She's actually paying attention and seeing what's going on. Just like many of our brothers and sisters who are in this truth, and many others who are conscious to what's going on, but still haven't leveled up to that level of coming back to keeping these commandments and be thinking themselves as Israelites instead of being Black or Latinos or Indians, you know. But this oppression makes us mad. And it says, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Christmas gifts, government gifts, they destroy your mind. Birthday gifts destroy your heart. Your heart is your mind in the scriptures. Gifts destroy your mind. Understand that. Because these people expect to get Christmas gifts, expect to get birthday gifts, expect to get gifts from the government, not knowing the true intention behind it. All lies, turning you away from the Most High. When you look for the government benefits, you depend on the government. You don't trust in the Most High. When you celebrating your birthday, you're worshiping yourself. When you getting Christmas gifts, Valentine's gifts, you trusting in gods. Santa Claus, Caesar Bow, damn Cupid. You're not trusting in the Most High. So your mind, your heart is being destroyed. Understand that. But I'm going to let the sister keep speaking.
It really does hurt. I'm mourning for my people all the time.
Now, this sister brought up some points about us as a community. And the great thing about me being my age, I got to see the progression of the Black community to where we're at today. And I will tell you, when I was a kid, we wasn't this way back in the 80s and 90s. We wasn't this way. Now, we know back in the 90s and late 80s, you start having the division coming in with all this rise of television. Oprah Winfrey played a big part in bringing division between Black men and women.
You see that? He understands. A lot of brothers understand, but a lot of you sisters don't understand that Oprah Winfrey was a key figure in dividing the Black family. Because while the men were at work, she was secretly behind the scenes sabotaging relationships, putting wickedness into the ears of our women, into the sisters, causing them to think wickedly or go about living life in a total opposite manner of what they should have been living or thinking about. They started thinking about themselves rather than the family. While the man was at work, they were thinking about themselves and trying to live the lifestyle of the other nations. Understand that. But let me go to Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. The book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31 right quick. Because the brother going to come back to what I'm saying, but I just want to put it out there. In the book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31, it says, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. So you might be saying, what does Oprah have to do with the oppressor? She was put on TV for a specific reason. They knew the message that she was going to bring to the masses. Understand that. They would not have put her on that platform if she was going to edify and uplift our people. Understand that. But they knew the message that she was going to bring, and they knew the damage that it would cause. That's why they promoted her and put her on a pedestal, made her one of the richest women in the world, so that women could look to her and aspire to be like her and say to hell with the man. And you can see that she doesn't even have a man or kids or a family to leave all that wealth to, because she was so busy doing what? Sabotaging and destroying the so-called Black family household. That was her mission. That's why they put her on that platform. But the scriptures say, envy not the oppressor. Whether you know it or not, she was the oppressor at that time. And choose none of his ways. What she was promoting and teaching was to destroy our households, our communities. Understand that. Even though she had the image of one of our sisters, played in a lot of prominent roles in movies, but when you actually pay attention to what was going on, she was sabotaging and destroying our household. Just like many of our entertainers and rappers and athletes, they put them on these platforms for a reason, to destroy our people, to keep us dumbed down, blind to what's going on. I'm gonna let them keep speaking though.
Then also the 90s shows like the Sally Jesse Raphaels, the Jenny Jones, all that highlighting these women. And it was done by design, propaganda to speak against the black man. And then you had as well the crack epidemic that hurt the black community. You had the 1994 crime bill that really broke up the black family. I think the 1994 crime bill hurt the black family more than even crack cocaine did.
That crime bill was no different than the Emancipation Proclamation that they came out with back in the 1800s, 1865, I believe, where Abraham Lincoln supposedly freed the slaves. It was nothing more than an act to try to mask their real agenda, which was to lock up our people and to put them right back into slavery, even though they gave us the illusion that we were free. Just like that crime act that he's speaking on.
Just in my opinion. And it's just an interesting part. The man that authored the 1994 crime bill that has the black community in the position where it's in today, a lot of black people voted for him to be president.
Who was he talking about? Good old-fashioned Sleepy Joe. Yes, Sleepy Joe B. You know who he is. Can barely hold a head up today. Sleepy Joe B.
That is crazy. And yet they want to call Trump the racist.
Either one of them, we are not supposed to trust them or vote for them to be over us. That's in the commandments, but our people have not been taught these things. So we run into the polls, standing out in the streets, rain, sleet, or snow to go vote for the oppressor who never does anything for us. But these things are not being taught. But like the brother's saying, we went and voted for the same guy who been locking our folks up forever. Even his vice president buddy, she been locking our brothers up, and we voting for him.
Like Trump didn't even put in his 4 years of office, didn't even put in no bills to harm the black family as a whole. Biden did it. Bill Clinton signed it. And yet this guy's the president. And black folks overwhelmingly ran out there to go vote for this guy. So I can't even say that he barely got to be a president. No, black folks did this. This is why we aren't respected as well. Because politically, we don't stand together on anything. We have no principles. We have no morals for each other. You're right. I remember at one point in time, people wouldn't dare open their mouths toward black people because we have a unified front on checking them. Now you have black folks. It's okay he say that. It's okay she say that. That's what black folks are today. When we lost community, when we lost families, when we lost our mindset of God, because family and God is what really kind of kept black people together from what I've seen. Okay. The churches was greatly, attacked in many ways. A lot of these false teachers and false prophets went in there, straight whoremongers went in there. We're talking about these pastors end up turning a lot of people off from going to church.
That's part of the misconception that we have as a people. Because we as a nation of people, we are the church. It's not going to church. We are the church. But the brother's right. The leaders, the pastors, they were corrupt, leading our people astray, raising them up, and we going to them every Sunday since the time we come out the womb until we hit the grave. We going and giving them money to be lied to. Therefore, they lead us astray, Let me get a precept on that right quick. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16. The book of Isaiah chapter 9, verse 16, and it reads, For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Are destroyed. Are destroyed. The leaders of our people, the prophets, the pastors, the deacons, these wicked individuals who supposed to be reading the scriptures day in and day out, seem to skip over the fact that the Lord is saying, keep my commandments, keep my commandments, keep my commandments. What is it? Keep my commandments. They skip over this all throughout the Bible and tell our people the commandments of God are done away with. They tell our people that we are Gentiles when we are the chosen. They tell our people that color doesn't matter. But when you in society, especially what in the 60s, 50s, 60s, on back, color mattered. Because if you were this color, you couldn't eat here, or you couldn't drink here, or you couldn't go to school here, or you couldn't ride here. So in the scriptures, though, they say color doesn't matter, but color is all throughout the Bible. But these people who lead our people cause us to be destroyed because they don't tell us that we have enemies. The only enemies that we know of is the ones that they project to us on TV, the ones that look just like us, that turn the hat back, that smoking a blunt, turning up a 40. Those are our enemies. No, we have more than just our own people who are our enemies, the 2/3. But the other nations have used our people against us, turned us to be enemies towards each other. Understand that, you know. But our leaders did these things. As these wicked laws get passed, they never speak against it. Why? Because they want to eat. They want to get their money. They ain't going to tell you when you're going wrong. Why? Because our people don't like correction. So if you telling them where they're going wrong, they ain't going to come to your church. And the people just want to, the pastors just want to be fed with money so they can eat. So they're not going to tell us what's right and what's wrong. So because of that, we are being destroyed, led astray. But we giving these guys awards, annual anniversaries for what? For lying to you. And you wonder why your relationships never last because they don't give you truth. You wonder why you've been married 3-4 times because your pastors are giving you wicked advice. They're not giving you scripture. They're not telling you to keep the commandments. Woman, be submissive to your husband. Stop running your mouth. Men, take care of your house and stop making babies and running. They ain't even telling you or promoting marriage. That's why you got so much whoremongering going on now. They're not teaching you how to deal with your brothers and sisters. That's why we killing each other rather than fighting or just having disagreements. We killing each other. Younger and younger. Why? Because these pastors, our leaders, politicians as well, leaders misguide and misleading us because they don't have a damn clue. They just got in a position to be able to put on a suit and tie and people trusting them. And they ain't got no damn knowledge. But I'm going to let the brother keep speaking.
A lot of people these days, because of integration has really, separated a lot of Black people because, they could have done integration fine, but Black people didn't want to keep that community. We have integration, but the Chinese stay with the Chinese and work on Chinese issues in America, or Arabs stay in Arab communities and work on Arab issues in America, even though we have, desegregation and all that. But Black folks, because of the self-hate that's in us, we want to go run and be underneath white folk. And we think whatever white folk got going on is the best. And at one point in time in this country, I do remember certain crimes that we were hearing on the news. We already knew who did it. It'd be certain crimes, say, oh, we know a white guy did that one. Because Black people wouldn't even do certain kind of crimes. They wouldn't even do it. And if they did it, it was far and few in between, and we were shocked. Now, Black folks doing everything white folks are doing. I remember at one point in time in this country that Black folks would never even think about self unaliving. Let me use that term. Because Black people say, I'm not doing that because I would go straight to hell. I'm not doing that.
Meaning they had some type of understanding as to what was going on. But today our people have no knowledge. They wise to do evil, though. Let's go get that in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 22. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 22. Because everything these brothers and sisters going over is strictly biblical. Everything is in the book. We just have to go read it and see it for ourselves. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 22, and it reads, "For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. You see that? Our people don't have no knowledge to do good. They think what they do, going to college, paying all the bills, or driving a nice car and opening the door and pulling out the chair at the restaurant, they think that's doing good. They have no knowledge to do good. I'm going to read that again for the brothers and sisters who did not understand or did not hear what I read. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 22. For my people, he didn't say all, he said my people, this possessor. The Lord is talking about the Israelites. Said, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. Meaning we don't know anything about them, but everybody's saying, I love the Lord. I love God, don't you? They beating on their chest, saying they got a relationship, saying he know my heart, saying they know him. The Lord said they are sottish children, meaning they hard-headed as hell. They have not known understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they don't have no knowledge, no understanding. We don't know how to do good. We don't even know what good is. Like I was saying earlier, brothers and sisters think it's good because you pick up the check at the restaurant when you go when you take somebody out to eat. You think you're doing good. Because you wiped the table when you made a mess, you think you're doing good. No, to do good is to follow the commandments of the Most High. When you go contrary to that, you're doing wickedness. You're doing evil. Understand that. Therefore, the brother, he's speaking right on point. We have no knowledge whether to do good or evil. We just follow the ways of this world and think we doing all right.
And now today, you see more black people doing that than what they used to. That would hold black people back. Now it's like, to me, it's like black folks today are more like the white community, more so than ever in 2022. They respond like them. They act like them more. It's like we don't have no sense of gatekeeping. And then those of us who trying to hold the community together, those of us who believe in gatekeeping our culture, those of us who trying to say, let's save the community as much as possible, those people are attacked. But what I will say is this: even though a good amount of the majority are too far gone, that's actually a good thing. Let me tell you why. Because some people just need to wither on the vine. They just really need to. We don't need everybody to fix anything. Let's go back even to the civil rights movement. Everybody in Black America wasn't on that. When you talk about, fighting against the white supremacists during the slave revolts, not every slave got on board to fight. It was only certain people that fought. You look at sisters like Harriet Tubman. She was one woman that was doing all that work. It wasn't every slave that was helping her. You understand? So what that means is you don't need the majority to change anything. You just need a strong nucleus of people to make change. And this community can change, but it's going to take a strong nucleus of people that think on one accord, because we can't have all this where we're not a monolith crap. I think that right there has hurt us more. We're not a monolith. No. We have to be a monolith on some things. We have to be a monolith on protecting our community. We have to be a monolith on gatekeeping our culture. We have to be a monolith politically. Yes, we have to be a monolith politically. We need to be a monolith on reparations. We need to be a monolith on not letting nobody disrespect our community. We need to be a monolith on saying you can't steal from us. We need to be a monolith on a whole lot of things. There are times that we can say, oh, well, we don't all agree, but doggone it, in order for a community to thrive, you have to agree.
So what the brother is basically saying right there is that we all got to be on one accord. And he was right also when he said we don't need everybody to get something done, because that's also prophesied as well. Let's go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8. The book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8, and it reads, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. So what is that saying right there? That 2/3 of our people going to be cut off and die. They ain't going to make it to the kingdom. You know, 2/3 of our people will not make it. But you got that 1/3 that still asleep, some of them, and a lot of them are awake, striving and fighting for what? For our nation. Just like they were doing in the civil rights. Everybody was not on board with that idea. But the ones who were willing to put their lives on the line, they went out there and they made a difference. So like the brother was saying, you don't need everybody to make change, but change has to come. And also, like he was saying, to be that monolith or to be that group of people or that nation, we have to be on one accord. For one, you can't get anything done if everybody has a different mindset on how to get everything done. You have to be on one accord. That's what the Lord tells us to do. Let's go to the book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 2. Book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 2. And it reads, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being on one accord of one mind. That's commanded of us to do, to be on one accord, to have the same mindset. I mean, just think if you got a group of brothers or sisters and you're trying to start a business and you know that you got to start from the ground up. You can't have somebody thinking, well, we got to start from the top to the bottom when you ain't even built the foundation. You haven't even drawn out the blueprint for the plan. Yet instead, you got an individual that's thinking backwards. Everybody has to be on the same accord in order to build that business from the ground up. Just like the brother was saying, even Yahushua, even Christ, as you know, him and his father are on one accord. Let's prove that as well. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 10, verse 27. The book of John, chapter 10, verse 27. And it reads, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my hand, out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. Now, a lot of people see that and say, see, Christ is God. No, saying they are one, meaning they got the same mindset. Why? Because Yahushua, Christ, as you know him, said, I came to do the will of my Father. Meaning he had the same mindset. He told him to go do this. That's what he went to do. He didn't have his own mindset. He kept trying to remind the brothers and sisters, I didn't come here on my own will. I was sent, and I was sent with a purpose. They were both on one accord for one common goal to be accomplished. Understand that. So we as a nation of people have to be on one accord. We got to have the same mindset. We can't be butting heads with each other trying to take over the world or trying to get anywhere in this world, because it's not going to be set up that way. I'm going to let the brother keep speaking, though.
Prime example. Y'all may talk about Africans and their tribalism, but tribalism is more so monolith think. You understand? They're thinking alike. So they move in a certain way because of that. That's why, you know, some people say, well, Black Americans are starting to try to practice a form of tribalism. Good. Because we need to move in one accord on something. All this, everybody going their own separate way, that doesn't work for Black people. Listen, Europeans operate that way. That works for them. And at the same time, Europeans are even a monolith on things. Prime example, Europeans in America believe in white supremacy. They're a monolith on that. It don't matter if they Democrat or Republican, don't matter if they rich or poor, don't matter if they male or female, if they gay, straight, it don't matter what they are. They all believe in white supremacy collectively. They understand that. And no matter what we got going on, we all need to believe in keeping the Black community together. We all need to believe in saving the Black community. We all need to be believing in reparations. And at the same time, other groups check people that get out of line when it comes to the group think.
Right.
You understand? The other groups like, look, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but keep your doggone mouth shut. Keep that to yourself. And if you will come out here and try to hurt and harm what we got going on, well, now we're going to have to deal with you. You understand? And that's what we got to be at. And I told y'all, in order for us to actually progress as a community, we got to really get rid of the Congressional Black Caucus first.
We got to separate from our enemies. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 13. Because if you ain't telling our brothers and sisters to come back to these commandments, you're damn near an enemy. You know, if you going contrary to the scriptures, you are an enemy of the Most High. You are an enemy to the nation of Israel. Let's go to the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6, verse 13. It says, separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. You see that? Most High telling us to separate from our enemies. But what do we do here in Babylon the Great? We want to assimilate. We want to be friends and buddies with our enemies because we ain't being taught that we have enemies, which is why the scriptures is true when it said our leaders that lead us cause us to be destroyed. They lead us to err, to go off. You know, they ain't telling us we got enemies, so we join hand in hand with the enemy, and the enemy mask their wickedness just to keep us in sin, because they know if we want to hang around them, they can get us to do pretty much anything. Think about that. If we can hang, rape, rob, burn, pillage, steal from you, do all manner of wickedness to you, and you still want to be our friend, hey, we can control you. We can make you do whatever we want you to. And have you to think that we are right. That's what they do with the TV, with the movies, with the school system. Think about that. But the Lord is telling us this is a commandment to separate thyself from thine enemies. We trying to gravitate toward them when he say separate. You don't see damn lions and tigers trying to damn live together. No. You don't see elephants and lions living together. No. You got the elephant pack, you got the lion pride. They off in their own area. They ain't thriving together. But the Bible tells us also that we can look at nature and it'll tell us what we are supposed to be doing. But we ignore what we see in nature and try to go the complete opposite in the human race. Or with mankind, I put it that way. You know? We go the complete opposite. But we're supposed to separate from our enemies in order to get things done, because we will never be able to grow as a nation taking advice from the ones or the individuals that's trying to destroy us, keep us broken down. How can we build? As we put a brick up, they taking two down. Think about that.
We got to get rid of every black politician that's up there now because they're not doing nothing. They all boule. They all boule. We can't work with the boule. We can't. All our greatest, men and women never was in no freaking fighting for no boule and Democrat. That's the only way this community can be saved. If you're not trying to think in group think, because you got to have group think. If you're not trying to move a certain way politically, because think about it. Look at the way we move politically. All black people, for the most part, vote Democrat, and they don't have to be promised anything. Joe Biden and the Democrats have gave something to everybody except black people, black Americans.
Right. Your so-called black president got in there and gave everything to the other nations. Gave more rights, more benefits to the alphabet boy than he did to his own people. You know? He didn't even do what I thought he would do to be a little selfish on his tip. I would have thought he would have put his face on the money or something, on a new coin, on Mount Rushmore, something. He didn't even do that. That let me know he wasn't even real, you know. As wicked as the political system is, he didn't even take a stab at that. But what he did bring was a bunch of homosexuality. That's what he signed off on. But that's all right, though. So our people say. But we shouldn't even be involved in politics anyway. You know? They'll never let us do what we need to do anyway. They'll never give us the funding that's needed. We have to basically follow their narrative to get anything done. And if they give us any type of benefit, it's going to be for they folks. Think about that. They've done it. They've shown it throughout history. It's no secret. We just are blind to the fact. We naive as hell. But what the brother's speaking on is true. I'm just giving you biblical background to go with it.
Hell, and I want to cover this on the podcast. Joe Biden just signed a thing to give $55 billion to the African continent. You know, I love going to the African continent. I love being there, but I don't agree with it because that's the money that belongs to Black America. That's money can be paid in reparations. But he got $55 billion and he can just go give to the African continent. No, they got enough resources that is way more than that $55 billion. That's chump change compared to the resources that's on that continent.
And we can't get a loan to open a business here. But they giving away, I don't know how many billions to Ukraine to fight their battle. Like he just said, they gave him $55 billion to the African continent. They giving money constantly to the Asian community. But we can't open our own business, our own schools in the land where we were made slaves in. Think about that.
I just saw Mali is about to start trading everything they have in gold. Again, Mali got a lot of gold, like worth way more than that little chump change that Biden is talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about. We need to be in a monolith on a whole lot of things. A whole lot.
So, brothers and sisters, you know, what we need to understand is we are the Israelites, but not black folks. We are the Israelites. We're being punished. We're going through these curses because of our disobedience. These things were designed to be this way. Matter of fact, let me prove that to you. Let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 30. 2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 30. And it reads, "For the grain of evil seed had been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness have it brought up unto this time, and how much more shall it bring forth until the time of threshing come? Ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed had brought forth." So the Lord is letting you know through the scriptures that the grain of evil seed was sown in the heart of Adam. So it was meant for Adam to go off. So for our people to be in the state of mind that they're in right now, this was all designed from the beginning. We have to understand these things. We shouldn't be asking questions anymore. We should read the scriptures and realize what's going on and play our part in the movie. You know, these things happen for a reason. Why? Because this is the Most High's movie. It's not our movie, it's the Most High's movie. Whatever script, whatever plot, climax that he had put in this movie, it's all written in the script. All we got to do is read and apply. Read and reenact our part. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to do as a people. You know, let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 1. Show you another thing that you should understand and know. The book of 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 1. "And he answered me, saying, The Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few." Understand, this world that we living in is made for a lot of wickedness, but the world to come is made for few, for that 1/3 of Israel. You know, because let me see if I can find that right quick. What was this? 6 and 9. Yeah. Let me go to 2 Ezra 6 and 9. It says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." So this world right now is being ran by Esau. They tell you that in Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. But the world to come is for few. The world to come after this is the world of Jacob, where we in rulership. And it's not meant for the whole world to be in rulership. It's meant for righteousness to rule over the earth. That's what's going to happen. That's what's coming next. We have to understand these things. We have to accept it, take it, run with it, and apply our part in this movie so that we can be part of that rulership or that ruling class in the world to come. You know? But let's go to Revelation 21 and 4 right quick. That's where I'm going to end there. book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 4, because the sister, she was distraught. She had questions that needed to be answered. She was seeing the atrocities that's going on, that's plaguing our people. She see the oppression on a daily basis. But if we all repent and come back to keeping these commandments and have the faith in Yahweh, this is what's going to happen at the end. The book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 4. And Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. And there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. These are some of the things that we have to look forward to. No more death, no more pain, no more crying, no more sorrow. These things will be wiped away for us as a nation of people. This is why we have to come back to keeping these commandments. This is just one of the things that's promised to us. We're going to have our own land back. We're going to have our fame back. You know, we're going to be ruling this entire earth. All the riches and the fame, the glory that we seek here in this wicked kingdom, we will have it in righteousness in the kingdom to come. So with that being said, I hope you brothers and sisters learn something from this class. And I pray and hope that you come back to keeping these commandments and apply them day in and day out as well. I'm your brother Ananias for A.O.I. And I pray that you brothers and sisters learn something. All praise, honor, glory given to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And on that note, I say shalom to you.